Welcome back to another video. The weather has been just absolutely terrific here for the past couple of weeks. Not really good for working outside. We've had a lot of rain and drizzle, but it sure is greening things up real nice, and the temperature has been very pleasant. I know that winter is approaching. It's real obvious by the daylight hours being shortened quite a bit each and every day, which means that it's getting darker in my carport each and every day. I think I'm going to go ahead and spend this episode trying to get some power into this carport to where I can put up a light, have a light switch, and then have an electrical outlet there too without having to stretch out a 100-foot extension cord anymore. So that's what I'm going to be doing on this episode. I apologize, there is some noise and I'm sure echo to overcome because my inverters are going. I have to start out this morning in here, and because I've got so much conduit already run, I think the easiest way to be able to do this one is with flex conduit. So in order to do that, I've ordered some 1-inch exterior flexible conduit that I'll be running through here, get into the what is now storage room, and then go across the ceiling in there and down to where I need to be on the other side, and then I can go with rigid plastic conduit from there. I'll start out by pulling this panel and finding out just exactly where I can come through with that conduit. It looks like coming through just as low as I can here is probably going to be the place to do this. I think I can do it with the power live. If not, I may have to turn off the lights, which means that you won't be able to see anything. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pop out one of these knockouts here and then enlarge it to 1 inch. Let's take a look at what my plans are outside here. Now, looking from the inside, I put in that 1-inch adapter into my main panel, and 1 inch seems like a ridiculous amount if all I'm going to do is to run a light and one outlet out here, because you could get 3 number 12 wires through it and do that. But I've got more than that in mind. From way back when I did the underground work, I put in that 1-inch pipe down here that goes across the little driveway here and into that building, and then it's just stubbed into that building and it's all. I went ahead and bent a piece of plastic conduit here, and that will go up to a 100 amp rated panel up above. Now, I won't use anywhere near 100 amps. I do plan on at least 20 amp 120 volt circuit and one 20 amp 240 volt circuit that would run my little air compressor and run my table saw. And I may do more than that with it too. In fact, I may put in a couple more 120 volt 20 amp circuits. Then on the post here, I'll have a light switch and one outlet. Now let's go take a look at how I did this sort of bend, because I have a 3-inch offset to put in down here.
Doggone it, I did not have the camera going when I put that together, but it actually went together quite easily. So I think everything looks pretty good. I need to put in another screw in the box and go get a couple of clamps. Since I'm going to be needing my fish tape to pull wire anyway, I'll just do the measuring with that. It's like 37 feet, and I'll add 2 just for the sake of splicing. 39 feet, plus whatever it takes to get from the panel to this same point.
My watertight flex conduit arrived, so now it's time to put it in. I've already run it through a hole from the storage room, so I'll feed it through here, get it attached, then we'll go into the storage room and see what we can do there. That takes care of attaching it in here. Now to the storage room.
Okay, we are in the northwest corner of my storage area. You can see the conduit coming through the wall. What I'll do is I'll run it up behind the sewer and gas line through that stud space there and up into my storage area above. I'll attach it to the wall up there. And come back down. I'll have to drill through that double top plate. And then this conduit that you see coming through the wall is immediately to the outside of it has that LB that you saw from the outside where I'll make the attachment. I've got a box to put in there yet too. I'm not going to do any recording of this inside because I'd be moving around constantly and you wouldn't be able to see half of what I'm doing anyway.
I've got my wire, so I'm going to go ahead and pull off this panel cover. And I think I'm going to do the pulling from here. There's really not much room on the other side. I'll feed from the other side, pull here. I've got a good left arm, so I think this will work out pretty well. The one thing that I will do is I will kill the power into this panel because I've got a steel tape. I don't have any of the new fiberglass ones. I've got an old steel tape, and going through plastic pipe, I would be the ground. So I don't want to die. I'm going to kill the power before I get started. Now, if I don't have, I'll get a flashlight in here, but if I don't have enough light, I may not even record me pulling this through. I suppose with Halloween coming up, I should be having some pretty dramatic lighting, so here goes. All finished with the Halloween shot, time to start pulling. Now, I'm only going to be able to pull about a foot at a time and then have to go and push on the other side. Once I get around that sharp bend, I'm hoping that maybe it gets a little easier. We'll find out. I'm only getting about 6 inches at a time now, so this is going to take a while. I'll stop recording until I get this pulled through. Could take me several hours.
One of the few things that I can say that I miss about Colorado is the sunshine. Today is only the second day in almost 3 weeks that the sun has been out, and I'm kind of loving it. And so is my generator. I've had to run the generator a total of about 10 hours in the past couple of weeks. I got all the wire pulled inside. Now it's time to do the outside part. And I went ahead and bought a shorter fish tape, one that is fiberglass that I really wish I would have had yesterday. It pushed through that plastic conduit real easily, so I'm hoping this bundle of wire pulls back through it just as easily. That was certainly a lot easier than last night. I still have some slack to pull out, and I'm hoping I put enough lubricant on these cables that I can pull them one at a time because they're not all the same amount of slack in them. I think I can do that. Now, yesterday I ran the same 4 number 8s, and I ran a black, green, and white, which feeds a plug inside. Now this 2 reds and a black, I'm putting in for possible future use if I ever want to put in a 3-way switch. The wiring is already underground, at least to that first box, and I can put in a 3-way switch in the house and make this one a 3-way switch. For now, I'm not going to do that, so these are just going to be for future use. I'll just cap them off and coil them up. But these, for now, I need to be pulling out one at a time. That worked out pretty nicely. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It should be a piece of cake to get them the rest of the way into the panel. The panel is all connected here. The panel is connected on the inside, so all I have to do is go throw a breaker on, and hopefully I would have power to that outlet. I have power turned on inside, so we should be live into this box. Let's see if we are. Turn that 20 amp breaker on. That says we got power. Now let's see if we really do. The true test. Look at that. Did you have any doubt? Now you know what that means? See this power cord here? Goes outside all the way to this exterior receptacle. I don't need that anymore. I now have conduit and wire run from the panel up to an outlet here. And what that will be for is to provide power to string lighting. Now, I have a red, a black, a white, and a green. The green is ground, white is neutral. The black will be constant power, red will be switched power that goes all the way back to that switch there. All I have left now is to finish attaching these string lights. I'm not sure that string lights would have been the best for this application, and other people would have probably chosen something else, but I really like the sort of warm glow that you get from string lights, and it's a good even light distribution too. In this area I'm probably not going to need a super amount of light. I don't know that I'd be working out here at night, but if I do, I mean, it really does provide a pretty good amount of light and very evenly distributed. I'll go ahead and finish putting up what staples I need to and attaching the rest of this string. Everything is attached and hooked up. I've already tested it. Everything seems to be working just fine. Now, the reason for running two different circuits is one I've got set to the switch, which is the outer rows, and then one I've got to work off a smart app, which we'll test out here in just a second. From the smart app, I can run the middle row. So let's see here. Turn them on and off from my smart app. And then I'll go over to the light switch to try the outer rows. And that seems to work just fine too. Now, before I close out the episode, we'll come back tonight and see what this looks like in the evening, see what kind of light I'm getting from it. Maybe from down here both, and or from down here and upstairs looking out my window both. See you then. I am pretty darn happy with the way this turned out. I really love the looks of string lighting. It's such a nice, warm, even light. So I'm glad I went that route. We'll take a look at it from upstairs. It looks real nice from up there too, but thanks for being with me, and I'll see you next time around. Goodbye.